Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. Good morning, Horn Z's, which I already drink. I am at an undisclosed location in Northern California at my dad's place. We're going to spend Thanksgiving here. Very excited about that. There's a whole bunch of us. And yeah, what's going on with silver market? December is coming up. A whole bunch of traders from JP Morgan will be charged with RICO charges. It means racketeering charges. I think there's 8 of them now. 8. All from JP Morgan. Obviously, they were in cahoots with other people. That shoe was yet to drop. But the question is that everybody should be asking is, how can 8 traders in silver and gold and precious metals be charged with RICO charges and their bosses not? Blythe Masters and Jamie Dimon are still walking free, supposedly. Nobody's seen Blythe in a while. And JP Morgan itself. Now, we all know who the only banker of Bernie Madoff was. Only one banker. And that was JP Morgan, who was colluding with Bernie Madoff in that Ponzi scheme. So why does this bank get off every single time it commits a crime? It's very simple. Take JP Morgan down, the entire system implodes, and the game is over. And they just can't do that. They cannot stomach the free markets. They can't stomach honest dealings. They can't stomach it because it's a fraud. The whole system is a fraud, and they want to kick the can. It's just too painful. Well, it's been too painful for over 110 years since they created the Federal Reserve System. That's the problem. They keep kicking the can. It'll get more painful in the next 20 years if we do it again. So absolutely it has to end. But it isn't ended yet. Obviously, the silver market is rigged every day and every trade. Every day and every trade. Recently, in the last couple of weeks, it went from $18 down to... And it's not just down, it's up too. Some people say, oh, Bix, you only say it's rigged when the price goes down. No, I say it's rigged when the price goes up too. It is controlled via computer programs written by Alan Greenspan in the 1960s. I've said it a million times. If you've been on the road to Ruta long enough, you know the game, you know the drill. It's true for every single market, not just silver and gold, not just stocks and bonds, not just the foreign exchanges. With a click of a mouse, the United States could destroy the Chinese currency with a click of a mouse, or any currency they want. The Exchange Stabilization Fund has unlimited derivative potential to do anything they want, anything. And the world has been okay with that to this point in time. I would like to point out another co-conspirator in the silver rigging conspiracy, and that would be BlackRock, that shadowy monster hedge fund. BlackRock is the owner of SLV, which is the largest silver ETF in the world. And how do we know? Well, there's a lot of information. Go to roadrunner.com and just do a search for BlackRock, and all kinds of people involved with silver manipulation. But also, the custodian of the SLV is this RICO charged bank with 8 traders being indicted. That's JP Morgan. So BlackRock teams up with JP Morgan to rig the price of silver. HSBC is in on it as well as Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank just recently sold $50 billion worth of assets. I'll talk about that in 1 second. But yes, the problem with taking down Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan itself is that the silver price would jump to $1,000 overnight and the game would be over. Do I think that's going to happen? At some point, yes. The question is when. And given that they're looking to charge all these silver manipulators in December, we'll see how that goes. So keep an eye on silver. Absolutely, you should have it in your own possession. Crypto's the same thing. 100% every day, every trade. I know you crypto people, you get all excited when it goes up or when it goes down. It's rigged up and it's rigged down and rigged sideways. It's a click of a mouse. It's really easy to do, beyond easy to do, especially for these banksters who collude together. So look at the price of Litecoin. Look at the volume of trades. And this happens almost daily. Total Litecoin that's ever been mined since Charlie Lee wrote the program is $3 billion worth of Litecoin. Look at how many Litecoin traded in the last 24 hours. 2.76 billion ounces worth of Litecoin. So almost every single Litecoin that's ever been mined since day one has traded in the last 24 hours. It's bullshit. It's a lie. It's a cheat. They steal. And I'm not saying it just when it goes up, and I'm not saying it just when it goes down. They control it with computer programs. They can click a mouse and send it up, down, or sideways. And they can pop the bubbles. As Chris Giancarlo, the head of the CFTC, told us that the U.S. government, Donald Trump, and guys within the U.S. government, Mnuchin, Gary Cohn, Chris Giancarlo, made the decision to pop the Bitcoin bubble. I want to know who they told. Did Chris Giancarlo tell his daughter, who was big time into Bitcoin, before they did it? Stuff like that is complete bullshit. His quote was, "Oh, we had to pop the bubble or it would have just kept going up." All that means is the asset is undervalued compared to what it's being compared to, which is the US dollar. Cryptos are undervalued in comparison to the US dollar. It should be going up fast. It should not have any resistance because it's not properly valued. Let the markets decide what is fair value, not Chris Giancarlo and Donald Trump and Steve Mnuchin and Gary Cohn. These are criminal banksters. Trump is right in there with them. If he's allowing this shit to go forward, absolutely, Trump should be taken out. Sorry, guys. Oh, he has to do it to keep the system going because we're taking out the bad guys. That's called kicking the can. I don't care if it's 2 feet or 10 years. That's kicking the can. If you want freedom, you need free markets. And we don't have freedom in the United States, and it's really sad. I'll guarantee you, if we have a market crash, Elizabeth Warren will be our next president. I'm sorry. Who do you think has been the head of anti-banker talk? She knows exactly what she's doing. If you want Elizabeth, the problem is not what she talks about as far as the bankers. She's right. They're all criminals. The problem is her solution is complete socialism. That's the problem. We should have a free market. Let the markets decide what the proper valuation for everything is. But to get there, it's going to get ugly. I just want on the other side of this insanity, the debacle that's coming, to be free market solutions in a free country with free dealings. Go back to the Constitution. It would be lovely, wouldn't it? We have forgotten about the Constitution. It's sad, and it is destroying our country. Speaking of being destroyed, Deutsche Bank, giant yard sale. Goldman is the eager buyer. Okay, so Deutsche Bank's selling off. They put a bunch of assets into their bad bank. All that means is they're trying to separate where the losses are. It's still losses for JP Morgan. It's still losses on the book value. When you sell an asset, supposedly here they're selling, it's a big chunk, $50 billion to Goldman Sachs. $50 billion worth of assets. Meaning, now it says notional value, which is a ridiculous term. Because what we need to know is how many derivatives in there and what is the offset on their book value. So if they're selling, they don't tell you how much they sold either. I mean, this whole thing is shady. But it says, Deutsche Bank has found a willing partner in Goldman Sachs as the German lender tries to quickly offload billions of euros worth of unwanted assets. Not unwanted, toxic assets. Now, why would Goldman Sachs buy them? They know if Deutsche Bank goes down, Goldman Sachs will go down as well. But where do those toxic derivatives end up? What did Goldman Sachs do? Now, I'm sure they held some of the flip side of some of the Deutsche Bank assets, so those just cancel out. But not that much, I don't think. And it would come off the purchase price, because Goldman's not going to do it just for no reason. There has to be a reason, because Goldman doesn't want to take a hit. The interesting thing will be the end-of-year derivative position, how it changes for Goldman Sachs and for Deutsche Bank. If Deutsche Bank is dumping $50 billion worth of assets and another $5 trillion worth of derivatives related to those assets, which I think they would be doing, it'll be interesting to see where those assets end up. And it could be that Deutsche Bank or Goldman Sachs is just trying to prevent a contagion of defaults, because then all the banks lose. I don't know. Will this save Deutsche Bank? They're going to have to book something. Let's say they sell the $50 billion for $49 billion. That's a $1 billion hit on their books. Now, what did they give up? We don't know. We don't know much of anything about this deal, other than it made Bloomberg. In September, the U.S. investment bank purchased the Asian portion of a portfolio of equity derivatives that the German lender had put up for sale. People familiar with the matter said at the time. So it's not even official news. Barclays and Morgan Stanley each bought a portion too. So what they're doing is they're trying to net out the derivative problem over at Deutsche Bank. Because there's always a winner and there's always a loser. So if Deutsche Bank's holding the losing end of a derivative, and then Barclays holds the winning end. If Barclays buys some of this with the derivatives come back, those derivatives, poof, they go away because they're offsetting. Can they get out of it? No. You're gonna see one of the biggest losses in history from Deutsche Bank if they do proper accounting, which who knows if they're gonna by the end of the year, because the bad bank, the assets they put in the bad bank are going to be classified as one-time hits. Oh, this was the bad bank hit. It's still a hit to the balance sheet. And I would expect the loss to be over $1 billion, which is a huge loss for a bank that's already shaky. All right, keep an eye on that one. And speaking of shaky banks, huge repos today. I don't have all my charts here on the road. We're well over 300 billion a night right now. Let's look at the repos just entered today. We had a 2-week, 15-day repo of 21 billion, probably an offset on one of the term repos that already expired, but it's 21 billion. And then, like I said, the big numbers on the overnights. They were growing from 40 billion to 50 billion to 60 billion. Now they're up to $90 billion. So Wednesday to Friday, because markets are closed tomorrow, $87.95 billion were added. Obviously the overnight from the night before was taken off, but these were added. So overall, we're looking somewhere north of 300 billion, probably, I would say 330 to 350. $350 billion, halfway there to the $700 billion. And it's going to speed up by the end of the year. The Fed has already said we got issues by the end of the year. End of year funding, just like they said at the end of the third quarter. Remember that? They said, oh, it's just temporary. This temporary has turned into $350 billion every single night that is needed to bail out the criminal banks like Deutsche Bank, a RICO bank. It is sad and pathetic and embarrassing to be part of this insane monetary system. But it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. And I've said that for months. And since it started on September 11th this year, as I've proven and called, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. It's going to continue to get worse. Keep an eye on silver in December, silver deliveries. All right. I want to thank everybody who contributed to Toby's Memorial. We're halfway there. We're actually more than halfway there. Because we got some crypto donations also. But go to roadtoruta.com if you're interested in contributing. Right at the top of the page, it says Toby's Memorial, and I'm raising funds for a group called New Style Motherload, which is a hip hop group out of Oakland. Most of the kids have no money to pay for hip hop classes, and Corey Action, an amazing human being, works his ass off to get these programs going. It's a great cause, and I'm really, really happy that we're raising money for her. So, but you can also contribute in Litecoin or Bitcoin. So all you Litecoin and Bitcoin lovers, think about donating to the Toby Weir Memorial Fund. Right now with Litecoin, we've raised 11 Litecoin. Sweet. When it goes to $1,000, that's $11,000. It's not $1,000 yet, but Litecoin will be at $1,000. And to find it, that's me and Toby sitting at I love that picture. It's an awesome picture. But you can find it. Go to roadtoruta.com. Right there at the top, Toby's Memorial Fund. Click on that. And I want to thank everybody who donated and commented. such amazing people on the road to Ruta. I mean, I can't even tell you how much it's meant to me and Amy and my whole family. You guys really opening up your wallets and your hearts, especially. Thank you so much. It has meant a hell of a lot to all of us in these times. Not sure if I'm going to get back to you guys until Monday. Monday, I'm going to really start diving in with work again and getting back on track. So I will. That's it for right now. You guys have a great Thanksgiving. Love to all of you, and I'll talk to you guys later.